Hi everyone, I'm Alex Bones. Today we have come to what is probably one of my favourite venues of all time. It's somewhere that I used to fish an awful lot. I used to fish the matches here when I was a member, and that is the Glebe Fishery in Leicestershire. Today we've sat on pool 5, and I've purposely sat here because this is one from the end, this peg, and it's one of the widest sections of the fishery, because today we're here to put the Middy Reactacore XZ UltraControl 12-foot 6 feeder through its paces. Today we've got special permission to use a method feeder because at this venue it's all open end feeders with a 20-inch hook length, not allowed to tuck your baits in. So purely for the purpose of this review, we've been given special permission to use a method because otherwise they're not usually allowed here. I've just had a few fish already, just chucking over there. There's some railway sleepers on the far bank, so I've just been casting over there with some 2mm pellets on the feeder and just a little banded wafter. You know, relatively straightforward, simple approach. You know, and something that's really effective. A little mirror there. There we go. Let's have a look. Probably one of the smaller residents in here, I would say. Small one, but very nice condition. Let's put this one back then and get out there for another chuck. So I've just got the kit clipped up, the feeder clipped up. There's a railway sleeper over there. So I'm just chucking tight over to that. You know, it's natural habitat for the fish, as it would be if it were an island, but in this lake and on a lot of this complex, it's pegged from one side, so you can actually fish over to the far bank. As I mentioned already, we've got special permission to use the method, and I've actually always wanted to try fishing the method here because, like I say, it's not usually allowed. It's always open enders, 20-inch hook lengths. So to fish the method here is yeah, like the first time I've ever tried it. So it's obviously going to work really well. It's not a tactic the fish are used to seeing, and obviously it's pretty much one of the most effective and efficient ways of fishing a feeder. So plenty of bites, you know, probably waiting a couple of minutes, well, not even 2 minutes for a bite, and the rod's round again. Nice little 6mm wafter, size 16-eyed hook, barbless, 0.17 hook length, just nice and simple. So you can actually use any coarse pellets here at the Glebe. There's no fishery pellets as such. So I've just softened up some 2mm skretting, and I've actually mixed that with a krill ground bait, which is what's given it the red colour, and it just creates a little cloud on the bottom. So just something a little bit different, you know. But in fairness, you know, these are hungry fish. It's not a day ticket venue, so you know they're not seeing a lot of bait all the time. So the sport here is always, you know, pretty fantastic, especially when you're sat on your own like we are today on this lake. We've sat down this end, as I mentioned, because it's the widest bit, just to demonstrate this 12-foot 6 Reactacore rod. It's actually the second time I've used this rod. I took it to another local venue of mine, which is another local venue to me, Meadowlands, where it's all kind of quite long-range method fishing. And obviously this isn't huge range today, of course. It's maybe, I don't know, 35 metres or something. But at Meadowlands, you know, we were fishing a long way, catching some decent fish. And that's really kind of what this rod's about. It's a bit of a tool that is quite powerful. So it's perfect for method feeder and other styles of feeder fishing. You could potentially even use it as a lighter river rod as well. It's quite versatile. 12-6 comes with a multitude of tips, glinting in the sunlight there. Nice little chunky fish. You know, probably typical of a lot of the fish here at the Glebe. Nice condition, really healthy fish, and they really do pull. Okay, so what is this then? Well, the Middy Reactacore XZ, these are Middy's flagship range of rods, and as you'd expect from such a high quality, well-built range of rods, they offer an awful lot of features. This particular rod retails for £299, and it's got absolutely loads of really nice features. So it's got what Middy call a quad 4-layer carbon. It looks ever so smart, and the rod's actually quite lightweight as well. It's like a 3-piece design and comes with 3 interchangeable tips to suit the conditions. It's obviously not just a rod designed for method feeder fishing. It's going to cover all sorts of styles of feeder fishing, open end, block end, and having used it a couple of times for the purpose of this review, it's a powerful rod. Got plenty of power through the middle. I've caught skimmers and carp on it, and I've fished both the open end feeder and a method. And in fairness, it's coped really, really well with everything. It's ideal for sort of when you want to chuck a longer distance. While you can catch skimmers, as I mentioned, and as we have done, it's going to be best suited for fishing at longer ranges. And I think it could also even double as a nice river rod as well. It's got a really smart cork handle, a flat section there just for a bit of stability, really tight fitting reel seat, and I've matched it with one of Middy's GFD 4000 reels loaded with a 6-pound Middy M-Tech line. So as with a lot of rods nowadays, it's got a hook keeper, so it just keeps it under the blank out the way when you're not using it. And these guides, they're a high quality guide. If you can see that, they're slightly forward facing as well, and they're what Middy call their SCX guides. Obviously, this being their flagship range of rods, their flagship money, this retails at £299, which puts it in in quite a competitive price bracket. But if you're in the market for sort of quite a powerful rod that's a bit of an all-rounder, that will do a lot of jobs for you, then it might be well worth taking a look at the Middy Reactacore XZ range, and in particular this 12ft 6 model. The rod also comes with 3 tips, and they're all carbon. So they're graded 1 to 1.5 ounce, 2 to 2.5 ounce, and 3 ounce plus. Now that 3 ounce plus is when you'll want to be chucking a long way, and the other 2 tips are going to be good for sensitive bites, maybe bream and skimmers. So this rod is well worth taking a look, versatile, and it's the sort of rod that will do a lot of jobs for someone who's looking to spend this sort of money.